Hi everyone, welcome back to Pilates Center. My name is Marisol and I'm starting off another month with a beginner-friendly class. It's a Pilates class today, however I do have a yoga pillow because I want you guys to use any sort of pillow that you have nearby. If you don't have a pillow but you happen to have an exercise ball with you, that also will work. Just something that'll elevate your body, kind of help you and assist you in certain exercises. So if you could grab that before we start, that would be great. Other than that, you just need a mat to do your exercises on. All right. And before we start, I did want to give you a friendly reminder that APC On Demand is officially live. We've got all sorts of playlists on there, all different workouts, different lengths, mostly full-length classes, so 40 to 50 minutes. However, starting this month, November, I will be also adding 25-minute classes. So full-length classes will be published on Tuesday, and then shorter classes will be published on Thursday. So if you're interested in those, I've got a lot of fun playlists, a lot of fun music I like to use, so definitely check that out. I think there should be a free 3-day trial if you want to try that out. And other than that, let's get started. Okay, so like I mentioned before, make sure that when you lay down, your pillow is behind your upper back. The higher up the pillow is, the better. Hands behind the head. Inhale, reach and stretch the upper body over that pillow. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Exhale, lift the chest. Look forward and inhale, stretch back. Exhale, lift the chest. Now, I like to think of closing my ribs as I lift the chest, almost as if I'm trying to get the front of my shirt as far down to the floor as possible. Let's go for just a few more. And as you're doing this, try to push all the air out. Let's do one more. Great. Exhale, hold it here. We're going to pick up the right leg to tabletop and rotate the upper body. Place it back down. Again to the right hand side. Same right leg will lift and lower. We're going to rotate to the same side, right side, as we exhale. And I always like to think about the opposite side of my shirt, trying to reach over, like we're folding a shirt, to touch the side of my hips shirt. There we go. It's like we're folding our shirt in a diagonal line. Keep it going. And relax. Awesome. Other side is coming up next. So when you're ready, exhale, lift the chest, lift the left leg, rotate to the left hand side when you're ready, and repeat. And continue. Now, I want to remind you to go at your own pace. You can go at my pace. You can try to go slower, a little bit quicker. It's completely up to you. As long as you feel like you have a good grasp on the exercise. Great. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1, and bring it back down. Reach the arms up and overhead. And exhale, arms forward, chest lift. You can bring one leg to tabletop, then the other. And pump the arms 1 inch up, 1 inch down here for your hundreds. And as you're doing this, the bigger the pumps of the arms, the better. The faster, the better. Really push the air out of you. Inhale for 5 counts, exhale for 5 pumps. You can straighten your legs forward. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can straighten your legs up to the ceiling if you want a little bit more of a challenge, or you can try to tuck the knees as close to the chest as possible. Any position here is fine. As we continue, we're on our number 7 or 8. And last one, we're on our number 9. And when you're ready, relax all the way back down. You can even stretch the arms up and over, stretching the chest, stretching the abs, or a big yawn like I am. And press the arms down, come into a chest lift. Awesome, everyone. All right, bring the legs to tabletop, both of them, hands behind the head. Here are your options. One toe will lower down, tap the mat, then the other. Or you can have both toes lowering down to tap the mat. Not just by bending at the knees, but by actually lowering the legs down, getting the thigh bone away from the torso. Good. These are your double toe taps. The elevation here with a pillow is going to help you come up into a higher chest lift. Always nicer for the neck. And relax down, extend the upper body over the pillow. Exhale, come up to a chest lift, hug the knees into the chest. Stretch the legs up to the ceiling. Hands behind the head. Lower one leg down and lift up. Lower the other leg down and lift up. Lower both legs down and lift up. Now, if you don't want to do those, you can go back to the double toe taps that we were just doing, or you can continue with the, I would say, a more challenging option, which is keeping the legs straight as you lower and lift. It's challenging because your chest is already elevated, so it can feel like you're going to tip forward, but if you control it just right, maybe slow down your movement a bit, should be pretty easy to maintain. Good. And for those of you that like breathing patterns, I like to inhale as the legs lower, exhale as the legs lift up. Something about that just helps me feel more connected to the center of my body. And bend the knees, rest the feet down. Reach the upper body over the pillow. Take a little break. And then we're going to come all the way up and move your pillow off to the side. We're still going to lay down, but you just want your pillow not in the way. Your knees bent, hands on the floor, feet separated hip width distance for your bridge. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the hips. Inhale up at the top. Exhale, lower back down. And as you're doing this, I always try to emphasize more of my weight on the very back of my socks, kind of where my heels are, pressing into the floor, almost as if I don't have any weight on the tips of my socks. Hold the hips up here. Bring one heel up and then the other away from the floor. And now lower and lift the heels. Try not to move your hips up and down with this movement of your heels. In fact, I'll show you how to kind of test that out in a second, but try it first to see how it feels. Should feel a little bit more work for the legs since now you're involving the lower leg. And just continue to find a rhythm. You can place the hands behind the hips or underneath the hips to kind of feel what parts of the movement the hips tend to press down on. That's all right. It's okay if you're doing that. But if we can keep the hips up really high, that'd be great. And lower the hips back down. Hug the knees into the chest. We're going to go into some single leg. So feet are going to come together on the mat, knees bent, hands by your side. Exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling, hold here, bring the right leg to tabletop and plant it back down. Bring the left leg to tabletop and plant it back down. And as you continue to do that, remember the idea here is to try to press the hips up. We're engaging the back side of the body. That does include your low back, glutes, hamstrings, back of the arms. Keep it going. We've got this, team. And plant the foot down. Slowly lower down the hips. Great job, everyone. All right, let's come all the way up to seated. And in fact, let's grab the pillow. We're gonna lay on our side, the pillow underneath the ribs, extend both legs out, but actually the top leg is going to bend in front of the bottom leg, kind of like a figure 4 stretch. The bottom leg is straight, flex the foot, and you're gonna press the bottom leg up and down just a few inches, emphasizing the use of the upper inner thighs. Now, as you're doing this, you can choose to put your top leg behind your bottom leg. As long as the bottom leg is still doing the same movement, that's what really matters here. I personally like my top leg bent kind of figure 4 stretch. I like the way that feels on my hips. And now let's do little tiny pulses. Little tiny pulses. Doesn't have to be super quick unless you want it to be. And relax. Awesome, everyone. Straighten both legs out. I'm going to adjust my pillow here. I like to be a little lower to the floor for this one. Legs are straight, and lift the legs up. Lower the legs down. Both legs are lifting this time. We're still using the inner thighs here to squeeze the legs together, but now you might feel more of the trunk of your body, the side of your body coming into play along with the legs. And if you feel like your hips are moving around a bit, that's okay. Just kind of let your body figure out what it's doing, no problem. Obviously, if you're losing your balance going forward or going back, then see if you can slow it down or make your movement smaller. And lift the top leg. I'm going to adjust myself back up. And front leg, top leg is going to reach forward, flex the foot, point the foot, pull it back. Flex forward, reach the foot, point the foot, pull it back. And as you're doing that, I want you to think about keeping, that's just me, just checking to see if I have a hole in my sock. But as you're doing this movement, try to emphasize the legs staying pretty lifted. See if you can do that challenge. And if you want more of a challenge, kick the front leg forward 2 times and then pull the leg back. That would be the original way to do this. And yes, I double checked. There was no hole in my sock. It just kind of looks like it on camera. Let's go for 2. And 1. And relax. Awesome. All right, now we're going to switch over to the other side. So bring the pillow with you. Remember for this one, the top knee is going to bend in front of the bottom leg. Bottom leg is flexed and straight. We're on our forearm and lift, lower the bottom leg. You could potentially point the foot. I like to flex the foot because I feel a little bit more work on my upper inner thighs, whereas if I point the foot, somehow I tend to feel that more on the side of my bottom knee. I don't know that's gonna feel very good for you if you have any knee sensitivity. So just, try it both ways, see which one you like the best. And now we're gonna do little pulses. Little pulses up, little pulses down. We've got this. See if you can lightly lift your waist off of the pillow here. And relax. Woo. Stretch out both legs and adjust yourself if you need to. I like to be a little lower. Both legs will lift up and together and lower down. The pace here, I like to go a little slower. I feel like I can balance on my hips a little bit better that way. But by all means, if you want to go at the speed of the music, if you want to go a little faster than that, if you want to pair it with a breath pattern, I like to exhale as I lift, inhale as I lower. That's my personal preference. Let's go for just a few more before we do a forward kick. Perfect. All right, lift the top leg, reach it forward, give me a double kick, and pull the toes back. If you just want to do a single kick forward, totally fine. On a side note, I always get asked what kind of music I'm listening to on my AirPods here while filming, and as of then, I was listening to, I believe it was La Oreja de Van Gogh, it's a Spanish band. If you guys are interested in more artist-themed classes, I do have some on my Patreon. Got a Britney bar class on there, got all sorts of things on there. So check that out. Got a free trial going on. And continue to kick forward and pull back for just a few more. And relax. Great. Okay, put the pillow off to the side. We're going to come up to seated. Facing forward, hug the knees into the chest. We're going to go into roll like a ball. Make sure you can balance and take your feet lightly off the mat. Inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll forward. Inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll forward. Perfect. So as we're doing this, if you feel like you're rolling a box, not a ball, I totally understand. Some days are better than others. That's all right. Give your back a few moments to adjust. Last one. And come all the way up. Perfect. Bring the hands behind your hips. Keep your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and press the hips up to the ceiling, using the muscles on the backside of the body. I'm going to hold it here for just a moment. You can also lower the hips, straighten your legs, and do the same thing with the legs straight. It is more challenging that way. It's a little bit more pressure on the knees, but think about really using all of the muscles on the backside that your clothes cover. I guess my clothes cover because you might be wearing shorts. That's all right. It's just a little chilly. And relax back down. All right, going into our teaser prep, reach the arms forward. You can keep your feet flat as you roll back and down. And exhale, arms forward, lift the chest, roll all the way up. Or you can lift your legs every time you roll up, like so. I find it's easier to roll up to knees and tabletop. However, you could roll up and straighten the legs and lower back down. So I'm just kind of showing you different options here. I definitely love to grab the backs of my legs and stretch the legs up every time I roll up. And I like the stretch. I like the balance challenge. I like the feeling I get when I do that. Hold it here. See if you can hold in this teaser position for just a moment. And lower all the way down. Great job, everyone. Okay, let's grab our pillow again. We're gonna lay down and we're gonna place the pillow under the hips. It's a rollover mod. So hands either holding onto the pillow or down on the floor. Bring your legs to tabletop. We're just gonna practice lifting the hips up a few inches and then back down on the pillow. Lift the hips up and kind of over the shoulders and then back down. So you actually don't have to lift your hips up super high. You just want to practice the movement of being able to lift the hips and lower down. And if you feel inclined to hold that position for a moment and stretch the legs, you can. I'm doing that a few times here. But if you want to keep your knees bent and just lift up and down really quickly, you're more than welcome to. I just like to hold the stretch the legs, and lower all the way down. Move the pillow off to the side. Come all the way up. We're almost there, team. We're almost there. Come to hands and knees. We're going to do a few little things here, one of which is a push-up. So bend the elbows, straighten the arms. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and press the hips back, child's pose. And repeat that again. 3, 2, 1, straighten the arms, press the hips back. And last one here, get a little lower with the chest. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and press the hips back, child's pose. We're gonna come all the way up to seated. Place or roll your shoulders up, back, and down. You can place your hands behind you, lift the chest, open the chin. And come back to quadruped position. We're going to tuck the toes under the heels for quadruped plank. So lift the knees, lift the hips, but the back should stay flat and parallel to the floor. Pressing the chest away from the floor as well. Try not to press your hips too far back or too far forward, and lower the knees. Try that a few times. Lift, hold. And lower down. I believe we have just one more. Let's try it. And lower back down. Flatten the hands, lift the hips up and back, hold it here. Walk your feet forward, walk your hands back, and slowly roll on up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. You guys are all set to go. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that for full-length classes and more on-demand specialty classes, we do have our APC On Demand platform, link in the description. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you later.